Hey everyone, and welcome to Gilded Gaming and Tech. I know it's been a while, but I am back now and we'll have a ton of content coming soon. If you'd like to know what my plans are moving forward, stay tuned after this video. Anyhow, over the last few weeks I've been spending a lot of time in just one game. That game is Loop Hero, and today I wanted to go through the 5 reasons I've been so addicted to it. Let's not waste any time and get started with number 5. Loop Hero's simplicity, depth, and idle gameplay. Overall, Loop Hero is extremely simple. The combat is done for you with your main priority being building the map. You do this based on what the main character can handle. This gives you the ability to watch TV, listen to music, or even work a bit while playing. Once you learn the ins and outs, of course. For me, that is perfect. I love grindy type games where I can sit back and watch a movie while I play. Farming is also an enjoyable experience. You can quite literally go idle and do something else. I would suggest slowing it down and checking to upgrade gear every now and then. But the boss won't come out until you lay down enough parts of the map, and that information is visible in the top left corner of the screen. I know there are other games that do similar stuff, and some are incredibly enjoyable as far as casual games are concerned. However, what sets Loop Hero apart from those casual games is the depth. You don't have to dive too deep to get through the first couple bosses. The RNG of the loot and how things add up allow you to slap stuff down and just retreat before you get killed. However, if you really want to succeed, you need to learn which build works best for what character and build the game around them. It's a nice system that offers a surprising amount of depth, which I will elaborate more on throughout the rest of this list. Next up at number 4, the loot and stats. Some have come to call Loop Hero Loot Hero, and it makes sense. Much of the enjoyment here comes from acquiring gear, changing stats around, and progressing your character. Having 200% attack speed with 70% evade on the rogue makes the game extremely enjoyable, and getting there can get fairly addicting. One of the cool things here is that there are multiple ways to build each character, and you have to explore a bit to find what really works for you. Each of the 3 classes can only equip certain gear, and each piece of gear has multiple levels of rarity that increase the amount of stats given. Similar to something like Diablo, where a magic item will give you 1 stat bonus, and a legendary will have 3. The stats are mostly random, but things like necklaces will give a mana shield, chest pieces give health, and boots give evasion. All of this gets further expanded on as you unlock more parts of the game, especially once you get golden cards, one of which is Arsenal. This card costs some quality on the dropped gear available, but opens up an entirely new gear piece for your given character. It basically gives you a lot more options. Essentially, just exploring all the nuances of each class and how the gear affects them has been addicting, not to mention all of the other mechanics pulling you in. You also can't, at least for the most part, just equip the highest level gear. It takes some micromanagement to get the stats you want, and sometimes higher level gear isn't the answer. That leads me into the number 3 reason this game is so addicting: the micromanagement. I am pretty indifferent with micromanagement titles. Sometimes I love them, sometimes they get old too fast. For some reason though, I absolutely love it in this game, and I think that's because you have total control over almost everything, and much of that is stuff I actually care about. You choose who you fight, how often you fight, what mats you get, when the boss comes out, the speed of the game, what items you place, where you place it, and there is much more. I am not going to go through all of it, but I'm pretty sure you get the idea. Instead of micromanaging things like how much wood supply you have, or the food you have stored for the winter months, you get to micromanage how fast your character attacks, or how much health is regened each day. It's such a huge difference in practice that it makes the entire genre more enjoyable. It's an extremely addictive gameplay loop that keeps you coming back for more. Up at number 2, we have the roguelike or roguelike elements. Roguelikes have been growing on me in recent years, and Loop Hero has fully drawn me in. The basic idea of a roguelike is to have an addictive gameplay loop, so I won't spend too much time here. For me, what makes or breaks a roguelike are the in-between elements. What carries over, what can you progress, and what unlocks after each attempt that makes the game either a little easier or different from the last run. Loop Hero absolutely excels here with its village system. You build buildings to unlock cards, characters, supply slots, and a few other things that help you along the way. This is the main reason you are doing loops. You get mats to complete buildings in the village. It's a great progression system and gives you something to work towards throughout expeditions. And the last reason I have been addicted to Loop Hero are the random moments of discovery. I don't want to go into too much detail here. I am avidly against spoilers, but I do want to say that randomly finding a way to create new enemies, farm new mats, or progress your character makes Loop Hero extremely addicting. This is all about the synergies between items once they are placed. I am going to use a couple of examples here that are easy to find early on. First is the mountain peak, which is created by placing either rocks or mountains next to each other in a 3x3 format. This can only be done once each expedition, and spawns a random harpy every 2 days. This is the only way to fight harpies. The second one is a little more straightforward. You simply place the vampire mansion next to a village to create the Count's lands. This doesn't bring a ton of extra benefits to your character, but it does drop 4 to 5 enemies on the board in one square, giving you the opportunity to farm orbs of expansion. There are a ton of other little interactions between items, and exploring this aspect of Loop Hero is easily one of my favorite parts of the game. This is how you create the board you're looking for, and once you get all the items in place to farm the mats you need, you can just let your hero run through them. It's an excellent design and surprisingly addicting, especially when you start planning your map out before you start your expedition. In conclusion, I absolutely love Loop Hero, and there are a ton of other things that I could bring up here. Some good, some bad. But I think at this point you guys have a pretty good idea on if you would like this game or not. With that being said, Loop Hero is actually a card or deck building game, which many of the things I talked about today are representative of that genre. The big difference here is Loop Hero doesn't feel like a card game. I personally don't like deck builders that much. They tend to get repetitive, and I am not a fan of PvP games in general, so multiplayer card games have never really been my thing. I even delayed picking up Slay the Spire because it was a deck builder, but luckily I gave that game a chance and it ended up being one of my favorite titles released that year. My point is, if you are at all turned away by the fact that this is a card game, like I was, don't be. Even though those types of games may not appeal to you, the way the game plays, the story, and the roguelike elements cover that up almost entirely. This allows people to get into and explore the elements in card games that people who play Hearthstone, Magic, or Slay the Spire see all the time. The overall playtime here is a bit more tricky to nail down, but I would say there is at least a good 20 to 30 hours of solid gameplay. After that, and maybe even a bit before, things will get repetitive. As far as who might enjoy this game, I would say if you like card games, RPGs, casual games, god simulators, or micromanagement titles, you should give Loop Hero a shot. It's well worth exploring, and has a ton of content to keep you going for multiple hours. Anyhow, that's it for today's video. If you would like to stick around for a quick update on Gilded Gaming and Tech, please do. If not, thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped. Hey everyone, I know it has been a while, but I wanted to go ahead and give you a little update for the channel. Things have been crazy this last year for everyone, and YouTube ended up falling off to the side for me while I focused on family and work. I am back now and have big plans moving forward. I have changed the channel name from Gilded Reviews to Gilded Gaming and Tech. This is because I wanted to branch out a little, focusing on PC games, websites, applications, and other stuff including gadgets, arcades, and possibly a new DIY series. This is all in attempts to expand my content and create a more diverse selection of videos. And really, that's about it. The new content will be here soon. It will be more diverse, and it will be on a more regular schedule. Anyhow, thanks again for sticking around, and I will see you next time.